back to winning isn't easy. How you can use a functional capacity evaluation test to support your claim and overcome a wrongful claim denial or termination. Now, if your ERISA disability carrier or plan has denied your claim or terminated your benefits, you're only going to have 180 days in which to file an appeal. The appeal is the trial of your case. But before you get started, you want to get a copy of the carrier or plan's claims file. Why? Well, you want to see a copy of that FCE. You want to see how their physicians reviewed the FCE and concluded whatever they think your restrictions and limitations might be, and what those restrictions and limitations mean in terms of your functionality. They're also going to have a vocational evaluator who will have taken that information and rendered an opinion as to whether you can do your own occupation or any occupation. So you want all of this before you go about designing an attack on the results of the FCE. So what do I mean by that? We also want to be able to tell our functional capacity evaluator everything that's going on. We want to tell them what the adjuster's thinking was, what the FCE provider report says, what their doctors say about it, and what the vocational evaluator that the carrier plan used concluded about your ability to do your own or any occupation. But there's also something else. If there's surveillance on you, we want a copy of that surveillance because we want our vocational evaluator to weigh in on it after the functional capacity evaluator has weighed in on it. So we want to understand the whole range of information that they've had. So when we retain a functional capacity evaluator to assist us in a case, we are going to be forwarding your medical records, the disability carrier plan's liar for hire medical records and opinions, the carrier's functional capacity evaluation, a copy of the occupational description of your occupation if you're in the own occupation stage. If you're at the any occupation stage, we want to provide them with the occupational description from the Dictionary of Occupational Titles that the vocational evaluator is saying that you could do. And obviously, we want to forward a copy of the vocational evaluator's report so that they understand how that evaluator took those restrictions and came up with these jobs. Now, obviously, I'm going to be asking the FCE provider to do appropriate testing in the course of the FCE to simulate occupational duties that you performed or are based on the occupations that the vocational evaluator identified. So remember, you've insured your occupation, not your job. So we want to simulate those duties as described in the Dictionary of Occupational Titles. Additionally, we want the FCE provider to tell us, are there any other testing or tests that you want to do to help address, one, what our client's restrictions and limitations are, two, rebut that FCE, and three, rebut their vocational conclusions about your ability to do your own occupation or any occupation. Many courts have found that FCEs are the gold standard for assessing functionality if properly conducted. Now, they can even be more reliable and valid, if you will, than an orthopedic examination or a liar for hire medical review. So it's important to understand the scope of why an FCE is important. The FCE, unlike a physical exam, is testing your occupational abilities and measuring your ability to do occupational duties, as opposed to just a pure physical examination. Now, the FCE can be useful if your physician is refusing to complete an attending physician statement form or to address objections of the carrier's FCE or in those instances in which your doctor just doesn't support your claim. So we use these for a number of purposes because the FCE can help your doctor confirm the restrictions and limitations and help the doctor feel more comfortable addressing restrictions and limitations. So you can see that FCEs can be very important in combating a carrier's denial or termination of benefits, or even to contest their liar for hire doctor's conclusions about your restrictions and limitations. But it's got to be used in conjunction with a vocational evaluation. Got it? Let's take a break. In our next segment, I'm going to talk about the 7 mistakes that you can make during an FCE that's been ordered by your long-term disability carrier or plan.